In the past decade, Vietnam has emerged as a hotspot for foreign investment. The country has experienced economic reforms, rapid industrialization, and increased globalization. All of these factors have made it an attractive destination for investors, particularly those from South Korea. South Korean conglomerates are not merely dipping their toes into the Vietnamese market, they're making waves. And these aren't just small ripples. These are sizable waves of investment that are transforming industries across Vietnam. Whether we're talking about technology, manufacturing, or consumer goods, South Korean capital is making its mark, often in the form of buying stakes in existing Vietnamese companies. One key factor driving this investment surge is Vietnam's position as a developing economy with huge potential. Companies in South Korea are eager to capitalize on this growth, often by investing in Vietnamese enterprises that are already well established in their respective sectors. What makes this trend even more captivating is the strategic advantage it brings for both nations. For Vietnam, it means access to South Korea's world-renowned technological know-how and international business networks. For South Korea, it represents an opportunity to diversify assets and gain a stronghold in a market with an upward trajectory. Now that we've set the stage, let's delve into why this is happening and what impacts these transactions have on Vietnam's economic landscape. One of the most talked about investments was SK Group's $1 billion stake in Vingroup, one of Vietnam's largest private enterprises. Vingroup is a multi-industry company with an extensive portfolio, including real estate, retail, and automotive sectors. The deal didn't just provide Vingroup with substantial financial backing. It also signaled the confidence of a major international player in Vietnam's local businesses. Another eye-catching move was Samsung SDS's decision to acquire a 25% stake in Vietnam IT firm CMC. This acquisition is a clear sign of the focus on technological development, a sector where South Korea has a significant global footprint. It also suggests that Samsung SDS is not just looking for a return on investment, but also aims to collaborate on technological advancements with Vietnamese counterparts. Yet, financial sectors are not left behind in this investment spree. South Korea's Hana Bank acquired a 15% stake in the Bank for Investment and Development of Vietnam, or BIDV. This move was seen as a strategic step for Hana Bank to penetrate Vietnam's burgeoning financial market, giving it an edge over other foreign banks aiming to set up shop in the country. And let's not forget the consumer goods sector. A South Korean food delivery firm acquired Vietnam, a popular local food delivery service. This move not only expands the South Korean firm's operations, but also brings in new technology and practices that can be beneficial for the local food delivery scene. What makes these deals so remarkable is the sheer diversity of sectors they cover. South Korean investments are not limited to any one area. They span multiple industries, from technology and finance to consumer goods and beyond. This diversified approach is beneficial for Vietnam's economy, as it doesn't put all the eggs in one basket. This continued investment speaks volumes about the confidence that South Korean companies have in Vietnam's economic prospects. It also adds layers of interconnectedness between the two countries, setting the stage for a symbiotic relationship that benefits both parties in various ways. Now, let's understand the forces behind these investments. One significant motivator for South Korean companies to invest in Vietnam is the country's strategic location. Vietnam is a gateway to other Southeast Asian markets, which allows South Korean businesses to expand their reach in the region more effectively. By acquiring Vietnamese companies, they establish a strong local base that can serve as a launchpad for broader regional ambitions. Another compelling reason is labor cost. Vietnam offers a relatively low-cost yet skilled labor force compared to other Asian nations. South Korean companies can capitalize on this to reduce production costs while maintaining quality. These savings can be significant, especially for companies in labor-intensive industries like manufacturing. The business-friendly environment in Vietnam also can't be overlooked. The Vietnamese government has made concerted efforts to attract foreign investment by simplifying regulations and offering tax incentives. For South Korean companies, this translates into a smoother and more profitable operation, removing some of the hurdles typically associated with overseas investment. But it's not just about economics. Cultural ties also play an essential role in this relationship. Over the years, Vietnam and South Korea have shared a growing cultural exchange marked by Korean pop culture's significant influence on Vietnamese youth. The affinity between the two countries extends beyond pop music and TV dramas. It creates a more welcoming environment for South Korean businesses, making their integration into the Vietnamese market that much easier. The need for technological innovation is another driving factor. Vietnam's growing economy has created an appetite for more advanced technologies and systems. South Korean companies, being at the forefront of technological innovation, find it mutually beneficial to bring their expertise to Vietnam. This allows them to test new technologies in a developing market, while Vietnam gets to upgrade its technological infrastructure. So when we look at the various motivations, it's clear that South Korean companies find Vietnam a fertile ground for expansion for multiple reasons. These driving forces are interconnected, creating a web of opportunities that both countries are eager to exploit. It's worth noting that South Korean investments are not limited to a single industry. They're widespread, reflecting the diverse economic landscape of Vietnam. One of the primary sectors seeing an influx of South Korean capital is the technology sector. Companies like Samsung have established vast manufacturing hubs in Vietnam, contributing to a significant share of the country's electronics exports. First off is the real estate sector. South Korean firms are involved in some of the largest real estate developments in Vietnam. From skyscrapers to residential complexes, these investments are reshaping the Vietnamese skyline and providing high-quality living spaces, often complete with smart home technology. Financial services are also experiencing a wave of South Korean investments. In a rapidly modernizing society like Vietnam, financial technologies have enormous growth potential. South Korean financial institutions see this as an opportunity to introduce new banking and financial services, making daily transactions and business operations more efficient for the Vietnamese people. The food and beverage industry is another focal point. South Korean brands are already popular in Vietnam. Acquiring local companies helps them cater more closely to local tastes while maintaining the brand's essence. This also provides an opportunity for Vietnamese companies to collaborate on product development, leveraging South Korea's advanced food technologies. Last but not least, renewable energy has become an increasingly active sector for South Korean investors. With Vietnam striving to reduce its carbon footprint, there's a lot of room for growth in solar, wind, and other renewable energy sources. South Korean companies have not only invested in these projects, but have also provided the technology and expertise needed to accelerate Vietnam's transition to cleaner energy options. So as you can see, South Korean companies have a diversified investment portfolio in Vietnam, targeting multiple sectors that are crucial for both countries' future. This is not just a one-way street of financial influx, but a two-way path of shared growth and development. As we proceed, we'll look at the challenges and the potential future of this partnership, so keep listening. While the growth story is promising, it's crucial to note that it's not all smooth sailing. One of the most significant challenges is the impact on local businesses. South Korean companies often come with a competitive edge in technology and capital, which could overshadow Vietnamese firms in the same industry. This competition can lead to a David versus Goliath scenario where local businesses find it hard to keep up. Secondly, there's the question of dependency. With a sizable investment in multiple sectors, Vietnam could become increasingly reliant on South Korean businesses. While foreign investment is generally good for economic growth, too much dependence on one country can raise concerns about economic sovereignty and national security. The Vietnamese government is keenly aware of this and is taking steps to ensure a balanced economic relationship that does not compromise its independence. Cultural clashes also can't be ignored. Despite the growing cultural exchange between the two nations, there can still be misunderstandings arising from differences in work culture, communication styles, or social norms. Such challenges require ongoing efforts at cultural education and adaptation from both sides. Lastly, geopolitical considerations add another layer of complexity. South Korea and Vietnam have different alliances and rivalries on the global stage, and these can sometimes intersect with their bilateral relations. Navigating this geopolitical maze requires diplomatic finesse to ensure that economic collaboration doesn't inadvertently lead to political tension. So there you have it, a comprehensive look at how South Korean companies are investing in Vietnam, shaping the future for both nations and perhaps even setting an example for other countries looking to foster similar relationships. It's a story of opportunity, growth, and mutual benefit, but also one that requires diligence, understanding, and commitment from both sides.